You know what Sony had? The Holy Trinity. Leo. Who do you have?
This week, Shane and I are discussing two great Peters, Sellers and O'Toole, in What's New Pussycat. This is Boy Party. What's New Podcast? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Boy Party, the podcast about movies where two major stars share the screen, ask, what's new, Pussycat, and battle it out for screen time, the highest paycheck, the most acclaim. My name is Lucian Wadaley, and I am joined, as always, by my sex therapist, who I am going to about my problems, sexual and otherwise. It's Shane Kelly.
Your rampant love of women.
My rampant love of women, and his, it's Shane Kelly.
Lucian, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Is this the horniest film we've covered on the podcast?
Ooh, is this the horniest film we've covered on the podcast? Are we going to have to run through our fucking lineup now?
Our horny lineup.
What are the other contenders? And also, where are you drawing the boundaries of horniness? Like, I'm instantly thinking of stuff like the Philadelphia Story as like a very vintage type of horniness.
Yeah, like honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is anything like Barefoot in the Park.
What's Up, Doc?
What's Up, Doc?
I'm going to filter our list to romance and see what comes up. On the Town.
On the Town.
There you go.
That's
literally Sailor.
Yeah.
Moulin Rouge.
Yes,
the very specific type
the
of like
John Leguizamo.
Yes,
around.
and Broadbent being like, oh yes, look at that.
Jim Broadbent.
Closer.
Sure.
Wild at Heart is romantic. It has a certain thrust to it. I don't think it's horny.
No, there's too much love in Wild at Heart for it to be horny.
Before Sunrise is similar. A
little bit.
Burlesque is a hilariously kind of sexless film.
Yes.
Some Like It Hot. It's a contender. How
But
about
that gets away from it though. That like
Sure, I
that's the
suppose.
whole point of that is that they're not.
and then A Big Bold Beautiful Journey?
Oh, so much.
Those are the contenders.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you, which is how many seasons of The Voice UK do you think Tom Jones has been on? Singer of
all
What's
of
New
them.
Pussycat. There have been 14 seasons of The Voice UK.
And he's been on all of them.
He has been on 13 of them.
Oh.
Season 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Oh.
14. So he skips season 5. And in his place in season 5, Boy George comes in and does one season.
Yeah.
That's the alt for Tom Jones. Tom Jones has shared that quadrant of chairs with Will.i.am. Will.i.am's been on every season.
Oh wow. Okay.
Jessie J was on the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Ricky Wilson was on a few seasons. Jennifer Hudson. Someone called Gavin Rossdale. Who the fuck is that?
Who is someone with a stage name?
Gavin Rossdale is... Sorry, this is like some sort of joke. That he was a coach on The Voice UK season 6. He is the lead singer and rhythm guitarist of the band Bush.
Oh yeah, Bush.
I don't know Bush. He was married to Gwen Stefani for 14 years, and his daughter is Daisy Lowe, who I am aware of.
Huh.
But who the fuck is this guy? That's bizarre. And then Ollie Murs, Megan Trainor, Anne-Marie, Leanne Rimes, the 2 guys from McFly, and Kelly Rowland have all shared the stage with Tom Jones. And I assume the show is still going. Yeah, it is still going, but it switched from BBC to ITV.
And how many stars has it produced?
1.
Becky
Becky Hill is a
Becky
star.
Hill
She is a star.
Sure.
1 star out of 14 seasons, and the show keeps getting renewed. I mean, if I was doing that badly at my job, I wouldn't be getting my contract renewed.
Sure,
Like,
but if several people were watching you do your job badly every year, then I guess
feel like
it
if the
keeps
point
going.
of your show is to discover stars, and you're 14 years deep, and the best you've come up with is Becky Hill, we need to shut things down and start again.
Yeah.
Anyway, What's New Pussycat, folks,
What is New
is a
Pussycat?
great 1960s sex comedy. It's like a carry-on movie with great actors in it.
Yeah.
Is one way to describe it, I think.
It's Austin Powersy.
It's very Austin Powers, you're right. And Peter Sellers' whole shtick is, I think, kind of the prototype for Mike Myers' whole shtick. The certain type of wearing silly outfits and funny glasses and doing a funny voice.
The accents, yeah.
You can see so much DNA in Mike Myers, also in Sacha Baron Cohen, and a number of other
It's real.
comedians.
It's Euro mockery.
Yes, it is. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean,
Nothing
obviously,
funnier than being French.
Inspector Clouseau obviously was redone later by Steve Martin. Now the constant threat of an Eddie Murphy Pink Panther is on the horizon. Something I desperately do not need in my life. But it just feels as though, Peter Sellers sets the tone for like a lot of silly men on screen that we enjoy. Is he one of the only funny English men there's ever been? It's a short list now. Is Peter Sellers
In movies?
No.
Even in general?
In world.
In world.
Peter Sellers, Stuart Lee,
Yeah.
Lee Evans.
Lee Evans is funny. Funny English man. Tom Lawrenson.
Tom Lawrenson from TikTok. We should invite him on the show.
We should.
Is Carl Pilkington funny? No.
No,
he's not.
we'd watch him and talk about him if he
he's
was.
a victim of bullying. Like,
Ricky Gervais had a moment.
no, we're not including Ricky Gervais in a list of funny English men. Everyone's had a moment.
Steve Coogan.
Is Steve Coogan fun? Yeah, sure, Alan Partridge has its moments for sure.
Yeah. And we'll probably discuss him later because he played a Sellers character in a live stage production we saw.
Oh, very true. Yeah.
We'll get to
Well,
that.
it's a short list. A short list of funny Englishmen. Peter Sellers is on the list. And I think a lot of people who know me and know how much I detest funny Englishmen would look at Peter Sellers and the type of stuff he was doing in movies and go, that's like something that would drive Lucian insane.
Yeah.
But I think he's great. I love him.
I don't understand why.
It just works. You don't understand why I like him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just works.
I understand why you like him, but it's inconsistent with.
Of course it's inconsistent, but I guess he's like the first one to do it. And there's nothing about him that has pissed me off. Like, the thing about someone like that is he died before there was an opportunity for him to be awful. We never found out.
He wasn't a Thatcherite?
I don't think so. He died in 1980, so
Oh, yeah.
he didn't really get a chance to be.
That was the year England turned bad.
Yes, exactly. He died at 54.
No way.
That's awful. There is a film about his life. Do you want to guess who played him? This is a fun game. This is an actor we've covered on this podcast.
Is it a funny Englishman?
No.
No. Is
no.
it an Englishman?
No.
It's not an Englishman.
No.
It's an American man.
No.
Australian.
Yes.
Aussie. Hemsworth. No, that's so silly. Australian.
I feel like there's been a lot of guessing so far in this episode. I'm
Yeah,
just
it is.
gonna say
Sorry, we're sorry.
Jeffrey Rush played him.
Yes,
The
that makes
Life
sense.
and Death of Peter Sellers. A film I have turned off halfway through.
Jeffrey Rush, Rowdy Boy.
Rowdy Boy. 1980 is, like, with respect to Peter Sellers and his family, at a perfect time to die if you're an annoying Englishman, because, as you said, that's the year England turned bad, and from 1980 onwards, Peter Sellers would have probably been attached to unfortunate ideas, causes, and things we do not care for. Or he might have revealed himself to be an absolute mensch, like Steve Coogan. You never know. He is born the day after me. 72 years previous. And he is like a weirdly regular Late Late Show guest with Gay Byrne through the 60s and 70s. Okay, I might be exaggerating.
Okay, sorry, that suggests he might have been mildly
Normal and nice.
politically normal
know.
if he's willing to engage with the Irish. And
Well,
the
sure, he
Irish.
had no issue with the Irish, I'm seeing here classic clips of him on Irish television, 1970, 1971, 1972. If you ever watch Gabo Laughs Back on RTE, which is a perennial Bank Holiday Monday, 7:30 p.m. time slot filler, which was also released on DVD at one point, which is so funny when RTE used to put this shit out on DVD. Patchwork music from the telly, the DVD, like, get that for Granny.
That'd make bank.
Get that for Granny. Your family would have like 20 copies of that. Yeah. They would be using it to prop up a bookshelf. You'll always get the Gabo talking to Peter Sellers, and Gabo would be like, Peter Sellers, welcome back to Dublin. Who are you doing today? And Peter Sellers would be like, insert racist impression here. And Gabo, ha ha ha. And you get to hear Gabo laughing back, which is what the nation wants to hear. So there's a weird bunch of like funny English actors who are very, very famous, like him and Peter Ustinov, who just went on the Late Late Show all the time. And nowadays, I guess your equivalent to that is Matt Lucas and David Walliams. But like Keelty on the Late Late Show provides a window to the UK comedy world, where it would be absurd if there weren't famous British comedy actors coming over. And to be fair, they do have a good proportion. Like John Bishop's been on recently. Both of the Little Britain guys, although that's a bit cursed. There's been a few. Because Keelty knows all these guys from London, but like back in the Gabo days, they did have an impressive number of guys who would fly over and do the show. And I wonder, did Peter Sellers have any other business in Dublin? I don't know.
Did Peter Sellers ever get involved in British comedy TV?
Oh God, I don't know Peter Sellers' TV
No?
really. Like, yes, I think so. He's
like
on this thing called the Goon Show. Is this a radio thing? I feel like probably. Yes, this is a radio thing.
That's the most harmless thing that could have been.
The Goon Show, and Spike Milligan is involved.
Sure.
Who is another legend who kind of outlives Peter Sellers. Harry Seacombe. Like, these are guys that have fucking statues built of them up and down England. These are people who have people name their children after. Like the kind of generation of British comedy that sprouts the Monty Python guys later.
So Monty Python's later.
They're inspired by these guys. You know,
Yeah.
these are guys who were on the radio in the 50s or whatever. So yeah, Sellers was a radio star turned movie star, which is an incredible thing to think of now. I mean, the closest thing we have now, I guess, is a podcaster turned movie star, which there isn't really any, but you know, people like Mark Maron show up in movies.
Oh, Stavros.
Stavros, yes. Look, in the last 2 weeks, we've had Stavros in Begonia and Maron in Springsteen.
Yeah.
So the fucking
podcast
potty men are killing it with the Oscar bait
There.
movies.
Could be us next.
Could be us next. But obviously, the film industry in both Britain and America in the 50s and 60s was willing to accommodate a personality like Sellers, and there were various endeavors crafted around his persona, and some of these ended up being like the greatest films ever made, and then some are just kind of generic comedy nonsense.
Who's the last British comic to have a statue built of them? Or do you get thrown in jail now for putting up statues?
Exactly. It'd probably be one of the Monty Python guys. I'm trying to think of anyone who's
John Cleese. I don't know.
Is there anyone who's died young in the last 30 years who they would have built a statue of comedy wise? I don't really
Or again,
think
is it
so.
just impossible because England turned bad once it hit
Maybe
1980?
like I think you could build this now. I don't think he's like the most amazing comedian ever, but like Sean Locke died very young.
Yeah.
I feel like no one has a bad word to say about Sean Locke.
No.
He seems to be very well liked by right-wing people, left-wing people. He was friends with Jimmy Carr, who's a cunt, but he was also very, very left-wing himself, I believe.
Yeah.
Used to attack Thatcher a lot on TV, and people on the left were very sad when he died. You could build a statue of Sean Locke, I think.
And I don't think anyone...
Everybody be happy.
Right, sure.
Do we need a statue of Sean Locke? No, not really.
really.
No, not really. I think we should save our statues for people who contributed amazing things to culture. But anyway, Sellers has a supporting role in The Lady Killers, which is one of the great classic Ealing comedies, which I adore. And Alec Guinness is the lead of that, and he's doing the real silly performance in that as Gary Flood. And Peter Sellers is kind of his minion, and it's not necessarily full Sellers yet, but he's in there with the Ealing comedy guys, and he's going to get more roles out of that. He's in a movie in 1957 called Insomnia is Good for You. The poster is just like giant feet with his head behind it.
That's a wonderful title
I really
for a film.
enjoy. Yeah. The Mouse That Roared is definitely quite well known. He's in I'm All Right, Jack, Battle of the Sexes, Never Let Go, and then Sophia Loren movie called The Millionaires. There's a lot of films he's in that were just like casually thrown on in my house when I was young. Then he has a supporting part, and this is his first time working with Kubrick in Lolita, which he is amazing in. So in Lolita, he plays this kind of weird tertiary character. People who have read the book will know more about him than I do, but Quilty. And he effectively just kind of like hangs around and makes conversation with Humbert, and he's really fun, interesting color in that film.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to check who plays him in. So Frank Langella plays him in the Jeremy Irons remake, which is really bizarre casting for a Peter Sellers part.
Yeah.
But he's really, really great in that, and that establishes his relationship with Kubrick, which leads a couple years later to his probably most iconic role, which is in Dr. Strangelove, where he plays a number of characters, including the sort of famous professor, Dr. Strangelove, and he plays the president, and he plays this military guy. So, as you inferred, we saw a stage production separately, in fact, of last year in the Borgosh of Steve Coogan in the Sellers roles in Dr. Strangelove, and it was great. The trickery that was used to reproduce this on stage was excellent, I thought. And I thought Steve Coogan did a really good job.
He did.
It was great.
Yeah.
He did a good job. It wasn't, I think Steve Coogan is as good as Sellers is at treading the fine line and not going full panto territory with this kind of cartoonish and silly performances, but not full panto. And I thought that they did amazing stuff, folks, like when he would have a phone call. So one Coogan character would have a phone call with another Coogan character, and they would have him walk to the back of the stage, step into the shadows, and then clearly a double would step out of the shadows and would not turn to face the audience the entire phone call. So you could trick yourself that you were looking at two Steve Coogans on the stage, but one of them was a double turned away from the audience. Very, very clever stuff. So it's fun there. That I think it's fun that Coogan's trying to like exist in the cellars.
Yeah, and they had some pretty impressive sets. Like they brought a cockpit of an airplane out and had some cool
Yeah, no, it was great.
scenes. It was a good show.
Now, whether that's his most iconic character, I'm now doubting, because I forgot he is, of course, Inspector Clouseau. And he stars, first of all, in Blake Edwards' 1963 The Pink Panther. Now, we were determined, well, I was determined, to do this movie on Boy Party. I wanted to do a Niven Sellers episode, and we watched it about 6 months ago, and it was so dreadfully dull that you were just like, under no circumstances are we recording a podcast about this film.
Look,
you couldn't engage with it, and I think that's fair enough.
The film was dull, and unfortunately, I had no Sellers or Niven.
Yeah, David Niven's a lot harder to talk about than Peter O'Toole.
Talk about, and I was like, yeah.
I don't really have much to say about David Niven either, so that's fine. I think we're better off doing this. The Pink Panther movies are kind of tiresome, and there's lots of them, and none of them are great. But Inspector Clouseau, it's a thing that exists in the canon of culture.
Yeah.
Steve Martin is just basically doing an impression of Peter Sellers when they reboot those movies years later, and he's a silly Frenchman who says hamburger. It's classic. There's two weird movies he's in that my dad and I really love. One of them is called The World of Henry Orient, and one of them is called The Optimists of Nine Elms, also sometimes referred to as just The Optimists. And these films are made several years apart. The Henry Orient is 64 and The Optimist is 73. And these are just like Peter Sellers hangs around with kids movies in like the best not creepy way possible.
Yes.
Like her Henry Orient, I think, is like a New York thing where there's like kids wandering around in the park and they run into him, and Angela Lansbury's in that. These movies are just delightful. Like on a given day, if I had to pick any film out of a hat to watch, and definitely my dad does, would just put one of these two on. These are just two lovely films. The Optimist of Nine Elms is an amazing movie where Peter Sellers is playing this guy who wears like a crazy top hat, and he looks like the fucking child catcher, but he lives out in like the moors and the marshes of outer London. And the kids, it's like, if I remember correctly, I haven't seen him in about 10 years. The kids like stumble out into the marshes, and then they come across him, and he lives out there, and he just plays this kind of weird scarecrow-y man. And those movies are just like so atmospheric, and he's so good and creepy in them.
Sounds like something that would have terrified you as a child.
Not creepy, but I didn't watch these till I was a teenager.
Oh, okay.
So creepy's not the word. He is like, he's weird. He's weird in these movies.
Yeah.
It's not Jimmy Savile-esque, but he's not creepy. I need to reiterate that. Anyway, Blake Edwards also directs him in a movie called The Party, in which he plays an Indian man. Now, I loved this film when I was a child because I did not understand what racism was. The character he plays is called Harundi V. Bakshi, and it's a movie where he basically stumbles around a party all night with beautiful women and various other mishaps getting in his way. And, highly problematic. It goes without saying. I did enjoy it as a child. He is, of course, in the classic Casino Royale, which we discussed on our recent Woody Allen discussion, so we don't need to go into that again. And then, without doubt, my favorite performance of his is in Being There, the Hal Ashby movie, which I think most people's favorite performance of his. It's him and Shirley MacLaine. We definitely mentioned it on our apartment episode. And he plays Chance, who is a gardener, who accidentally becomes involved in politics through a series of misunderstandings, and people think his name is Chauncey Gardner, and he just basically talks about how he likes to watch TV.
Yeah.
And he accidentally seduces Shirley MacLaine by saying, "I like to watch," and it's very, very, very good. And it's based on a great, very short novella, which I've also read, which I love, and I would just implore anyone to go check out Being There, which is an incredible movie, and Peter Sellers giving one of the greatest leading performances ever in that movie. Really, really great. And as I said, he died young, so Being There is his last great supporting role. And then last great leading role. And what they basically did was they would make Pink Panther movies. They made like one or two Pink Panther movies after he died that is just regurgitated footage and outtakes from the previous movies. So Trail of the Pink Panther is released 2 years after the death of Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
They bring back David Niven, but Peter Sellers is on the poster, and it's all just footage that they had shot for previous Pink Panther movies. Awful stuff.
No, I feel like if they did something like that today, it'd be crucified, and it probably was crucified at the time.
Well, now they'd be using the fucking the AI.
The AI.
Yeah. Anyway, what's up, Pussycat?
What's new, Pussycat?
What's new, Pussycat?
I was calling it What's up, Pussycat.
What's up, Pussycat? What's new, Pussycat? Interesting. Yeah.
I think I might have always sang it as What's up, Pussycat.
What's up, Pussycat? No, what's new, Pussycat?
Yeah, that's correct.
How you cats will laugh when you see the answer to the comedy question of the year. In the film, Peter O'Toole's character calls all women Pussycat to avoid having to remember their names. Fantastic.
Oh, that's a good trick.
Getting the big questions out of the way. Is this movie misogynistic? A little bit. Is it less misogynistic than any of the, say, James Bond movies from the time? I would
Absolutely
say
not.
definitely. As in, it's less so.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah, it's less so. It's misogynistic in a certain way, but I wouldn't say it ever reaches horrifying status.
I think it's misogynistic in a way that it's exposing the ridiculousness.
It has more
of
contempt.
misogyny.
Yeah, it has more contempt for the men than it does for any of the women.
Yeah, whereas in Bond, it's completely idolized that he's getting all these women.
Yes.
Whereas in this, he's making a joke
Yeah,
of it. Look at this ridiculous
yeah.
man whose biggest problem in life is that he just can't stop sleeping with beautiful women.
So you were describing this film to our friend the other day, and the example you gave was very good, which is
It's
his problem is that he can't stop beautiful women keep falling into his lap.
Yeah.
Including a scene where he's driving along a road
Yeah.
and a beautiful woman literally parachutes down from the sky into the seat beside him in his open-top motor car.
Yes, and she's like, "Oh, I missed my mark."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Okay," and then she's like, "Do you want to have sex with me?" And he's like, "Yes, but I can't."
Yes, it's brilliant.
That's kind of like a lot of what this film is. I'll do a quick run through the
Peter
plot.
O'Toole plays Michael and Sellers plays Dr. Fritz Fassbender.
Fritz Fassbender. Yeah, so Michael rocks up to therapy to his therapist, Peter Sellers, who has kind of been a long, I don't want to say Edna Mode type.
He's a Lucy and Edna Mode, Willy Wonka hybrid.
Yeah.
And
he's
bit of Borat.
I've always had a problem with women. I can't stop being attracted to them, he says. To which Peter Sellers replies is, "So what's the problem?" And he says, and then it just kind of cuts away.
Dangerously heterosexual man.
Dangerously heterosexual. Yeah, I don't know. What happens other than he has a girlfriend. He has
Yes.
a girlfriend, and his girlfriend wants to get married, and he's like, "I can't stop being not married, because then
Yes.
I will have to stop sleeping with beautiful women because I'm against cheating on my wife."
Yes. He loves cheating on his girlfriend, but he won't cheat on his wife.
Yeah, Peter Sellers in therapy suggests,
Yes.
"Oh, why don't you just get married and cheat on her?" And he's like, "Can't that."
Yeah, he has some morals. So unfolds a series of crazy screwball antics involving numerous different women that he wants to avoid sleeping with, I suppose. There is we haven't even mentioned. Movie was written by Woody Allen.
Yes.
In his first produced screenplay. It was directed by a guy called Clive Donner, who I found out an interesting fact about this guy the other day, and I'll remember what it was in just a minute. But he was like a cutting room assistant for Powell and Pressburger. There was something. Oh, he was an editor for Pinewood Studios, and he edited I Am a Camera and the Alistair Sim Scrooge. I don't know. He had an interesting background anyway, and then he turned into a director. But yeah, first produced screenplay by Woody Allen, and Woody Allen is kind of he's the third male lead of the film, and he's in it more than I expected him to be. To the extent that if we hadn't just discussed him, we could have probably done this as a three-way boy party.
It's an unusual three-way boy party in that Sellers and Woody Allen are both kind of the comedic second lead.
Yes,
but they're very different.
The billing on this movie is interesting, which is Peter Sellers, Peter O'Toole's names are beside each other up the top. Then Romy Schneider, Capuchin, Paula Prentice, who are like the three main females. And introducing Woody Allen, and then with appearance by or some weird thing with Ursula Andress, who's a Bond girl. And I think that's the parachutist, if I had to guess. But I honestly don't know her to see.
Well, you mentioned that. The movie.
Yeah, but Woody Allen's character is kind of my favorite part of this. And he has, they meet him when he's playing checkers outside in Paris. A lot of this is set in Paris.
It's all in Paris.
It's all set in Paris.
Yeah.
Some of which looks real, some of which looks fake.
All of it, which looks good.
All of it looks good. This movie looks incredible.
Yeah.
And Woody Allen, this is shot by Jean Badal, who he shot 5 movies. Okay.
Sorry, I just want to point out that Peter O'Toole's character is the editor of a beauty magazine.
Yes.
Where he walks into the office every morning and every woman that works there is the most beautiful woman in the world.
And he's complaining. He's like, why do I have this job where I'm surrounded by all these beautiful women?
I can't. Yeah.
The guy who edited this, Fergus McDonnell, what a name, was Oscar nominated for editing Odd Man Out with James Mason.
Oh, very
It was
good.
class. Anyway, they meet Woody Allen playing checkers outside, and Woody Allen reveals that his job, this is just the best joke of the movie, and then they develop on it. His job is that he helps the women at the strip club take their clothes off and put them back on.
Yeah, helps them change outfits.
And then he goes, and they go, how much is that? And he goes, $20, it's all I can afford.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's a good gag. They're not going to come back to that. And then 50 minutes later, they just cut to him doing his job. Where there's a woman,
she's trying to put on a suit of armor.
Yes,
a sexy suit of armor.
Chaperone style.
Yeah.
And he's like got all these clanking bits of armor that he's trying to help
But he's
her get
also
on.
simultaneously trying to ask all of the women out by saying there's an exhibition that you should.
I have tickets to an exhibition at the weekend. Yeah, it's great. He's so good in this.
excellent.
There's two brilliant guys driving their silly cars through the streets of Paris chase scenes. One with Peter O'Toole driving the car, and then a probably slightly even funnier one with Woody Allen driving the car.
Yes,
which is very good as well.
Sorry, this film also ends with a go-kart chase.
Yes, it does, which is really good.
Which is insane.
Really good.
Absolutely nowhere,
and it's brilliant.
It's so good.
There's a section in a house where basically, or like a hotel. It's called the Chateau something or other.
Charlemagne or something.
Chateau Charlemagne or something. Where basically he's going
Chateau
to.
Chantal.
I don't know, Peter O'Toole's going to do something with his girlfriend and people are hiding in closets.
I lost a bit of the context of this,
you
but basically he
gotta-
shows up and everyone that he's been either sleeping with or an enemy with is all in the hotel at the same time.
Yeah, and various people are hiding in closets and under beds and
Yeah.
this and that and jumping onto each other.
He
and,
proceeds to go through all of the rooms.
There's
and
these
eventually-
random construction workers who wanted to have a threesome with somebody.
Oh, jeez.
There's
That's
a woman.
kind of the one gag that I was like, okay.
Sure. There's a woman dressed up as a Valkyrie with a spear.
Yes.
There's lots of good stuff.
The other kind of counterpoint to the Peter O'Toole character is that his girlfriend, upon learning he doesn't want to get married, goes and spends the night with Woody Allen.
Yes.
They don't sleep together, I believe, but it results in Peter O'Toole having an outburst saying, "That's ridiculous! You can't do that."
Yes.
And basically, which kind of puts into context what not the point of the film, but like it sets the tone as okay. This is very clearly pointing out how ridiculous it is.
Yes.
This man can kind of go about on his
some notes
lecherous ways
on
and
the production of the
things
film.
acceptable.
Charles Feldman had been developing a script about a Don Juan style figure, Don John with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, based on which that's the thing. Don John being addicted to porn in the movie Don John is a spoof on the Don Juan figure, based on the play Lot's Wife for Cary Grant and Capuchin to star in. Warren Beatty wanted to make a comedy film about male sex addiction and hoped Feldman would produce it. This does have a lot in common with Don John. The title, What's New Pussycat, was taken from Beatty's phone salutation when speaking to his female friends.
Oh,
so
Jesus
that's the
Christ.
thing Warren Beatty said. Beatty desired a role for his then girlfriend, actress Leslie Caron, who, let's not forget, I Have Met,
Oh, yes.
star of Gigi and American in Paris. But Feldman wanted a different actress. Beatty and Feldman sought a joke writer, and after seeing him perform at a New York club, Woody Allen was offered $30,000. He accepted, but he said, "You have to put me in the movie." Beatty says
That's a fucking
Beatty
insane
noticed
notion.
in the script that Allen's role was continually growing at the expense of his own role. So that's interesting. So the role that obviously ends up being Peter O'Toole was being shrank as Woody Allen was putting himself in it more and more. And that does kind of make sense.
It's incredible for a first-time writer.
It's brilliant. I mean, Woody Allen never not the fucking
Some nerd,
bullshitter.
Christ.
Eventually, Beatty threatened to quit the production, but his status had declined so severely that Feldman said, "Fuck off," let him leave, gave the part to Peter O'Toole. Beatty later said, "I divaed my way out of the movie. I walked off of What's New Pussycat thinking they couldn't do it without me. I was wrong."
And it takes a man to admit that.
That's fantastic. A new writer was brought in, though, when Allen's role was pared back to a minor character. It's full of twists and turns. Groucho Marx was approached to play Dr. Fassbender, but at O'Toole's insistence, he was replaced by Peter Sellers. I have no sense of what Groucho Marx was up to in the 60s. That's well past his prime.
Yeah.
O'Toole, Sellers, and the director all made changes to the script, straining their relationship with Woody Allen. Tension was also, here we go, folks, drum roll. Tension was also generated by Sellers demanding top billing. But Peter O'Toole described the atmosphere as stimulating. Donner was given the job of directing on the strength of Nothing But the Best. I have to imagine Peter O'Toole was just absolutely blind drunk through most of this, like he was most of his life, and probably didn't give a shit about the billing,
Very likely.
the billing situation.
This does feel like a bit of a drunk performance, all right?
It does. Burt Bacharach and Hal David, two of the greats, nominated for Best Song at the Academy Awards for What's New Pussycat. And let me tell you that this lost Best Song to The Shadow of Your Smile from The Sandpiper. I mean,
Banger.
For what it's worth, Peter O'Toole is in The Sandpiper in a small role. Richard Burton is the star of that movie. Richard Burton, meanwhile, has a cameo in What's New Pussycat as Man in Strip Club.
Oh, yes. Diane Warren is a song this, isn't she?
No.
No.
Diane Warwick.
Diane Warwick.
Do you think they're the same person?
No, I do not.
Dionne Warwick is
Dionne
the
Warwick
singer
is
of many
who's-
Bacharach songs.
Yeah.
Diane Warren is the white lady who gets nominated for lots of Oscars.
Yes.
Diane
Sorry,
Warren.
never mind. Okay, I
Dionne
confused
Warwick
them in
is
this.
a black singer. Yeah. Still alive.
Excuse me.
is a legend.
Okay.
Sings a lot of the Baccarat.
So sorry, let me
hits.
clarify something.
Yes.
Is Woody Allen the main credited writer on this?
On the film.
Yeah.
He is indeed, yes.
Okay, because you were saying it was hacked
Woody
away from
Allen
him a
is
little
the
bit.
only credited
He's
writer
the only
on
credited
this.
writer.
So whatever other hacking was done is either
It was given back to him?
uncredited or made up.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Cool.
Richard Williams did the opening titles. He was the animation director later on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He's an animated legend. The fonts on the credits of this are incredible.
They're lovely.
Beautiful
Very
opening
pretty.
credits. There's a second unit director who's credited with creating the karting sequence. And that's kind of the bulk of the content of the film. It is worth saying that in 1970, they put out a sort of sequel called Pussycat, Pussycat, I Love You, which, to be fair, is a good name for a sequel to What's New Pussycat.
Absolutely.
The star of the sequel is weirdly Ian McShane, who is to this day a well-known British character actor, star of things like Deadwood and American Gods.
Sure.
This movie looks like absolute softcore nonsense in a way that What's New Pussycat is not. This movie, the poster is 6 women lined up in underwear, and they're far more provocatively dressed than anyone on the poster of What's New Pussycat. There is a giant tagline that says, "I've never met a girl I didn't like," and lying on the ground with his head in his arm in front of them is a gorilla in a bra. So I don't really know what's going on here, but this looks appalling. This is 1970. This is released. It was shot in Rome. Lalo Schifrin did the music, the composer of the Mission Impossible theme, and the Los Angeles Times said the film falls down with a thud. So anyway, Peter.
Yeah, ultimately, I think a defining feature of this is that for something to be incredibly horny, it can't get
No.
sexual.
No, you can't be. There's a line of lewdness you cannot cross.
Yeah.
This film stays on the right side of it.
Absolutely.
It's got classy actors, a classy director, the classiest of writers in Woody Allen. When you go over into Pussycat, Pussycat, I Love You, written and directed by a man called Rod Amato, who is this is like some fucking Tim Robinson shit. The Dennis Day Show, the George Burns Show, the Bob Cummings Show, Mr. Ed. Okay, great. He also directed the Garbage Pail Kids movie, and his wife sued him for child support in 1955. I'm seeing. Anyway, Peter O'Toole is another person I've kind of met. I haven't met him, but I saw him in person in Galway doing a Q&A at the town hall with John Kelly. I'm going to say 2008, maybe. And he died a couple years after that. He had a weird late career resurgence where he was, I think, Oscar nominated very, very late in life. One of his many Oscar nominations that he never won a competitive Oscar for a movie called Venus, which is not a very good film. I think it's directed by, his name's escaping me now, the man who made Notting Hill, who died a few years ago. That director's name would be Roger Michell, yes. Yep. And I think he was Oscar nominated for that very, very late in life. He, at that point, would have been in his 80s, I suppose. He died at 81. Say it would have been in his late 70s. But ended up then being in loads of stuff where he plays the critic in Ratatouille, which is probably what a lot of young people associate him with.
Yeah.
He's fucking incredible in that role.
So good.
That's a really good voice performance by they did not need to hire Peter O'Toole, but boy, they got good value out of him there. And he's in Stardust as the king that they kind of, I think Mark Strong gets some instructions off him early on or whatever, but whatever. He has a late career resurgence, so I think Peter O'Toole probably widely recognized as an old man by a certain generation, but obviously the bulk of his success is earlier in his career. One of these guys where it's kind of hard to say whether he's really Irish or English, because his name's Peter Seamus O'Toole, and he obviously had Irish citizenship and whatnot, but I don't think he really spent a lot of time here. I'm gonna have a look here. His his mother is Constance Jane Elliott, but his father was Patrick Joseph Spats O'Toole. So
Spats.
Perfect 50-50 there.
It did take me a deliberate effort a couple of days ago to remember to call him Peter O'Toole and not Ryan O'Neill.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, well, sure. I mean, look,
Ryan O'Neill played Barry Lyndon, which is
Peter O'Toole,
Irishman.
Yeah, Barry Lyndon feels like a role written for Peter O'Toole.
Yeah,
that ended up going to someone more interesting.
Yeah.
Weird weekend for me with Peter O'Toole, where we watched this. I watched The Stuntman for this purpose of this episode. I'm reading my book Andrew Ridker's Hope, and there is a Peter O'Toole reference randomly thrown in.
Yeah.
And then we are watching Jim Sheridan's recreation. And at the end of the film, Peter O'Toole's daughter, Kate, shows up as Ian Bailey's sister. Now, I've met Kate O'Toole a number of times. Very nice lady. Who does
Friend of the pod.
Does a lot of business in the Galway Film Flat. But it's very funny that a bunch of stuff to do with Peter O'Toole came onto my desk.
Yeah.
Anyway, his father, Patrick Joseph Spatz O'Toole, was an Irish metal plater, football player, and bookmaker. Peter O'Toole said he wasn't sure of his birthplace or birth date. He didn't really know when he was born. He had birth certificates from England and Ireland.
He doesn't remember being born.
Yeah, so sounds to me as if he really couldn't decide whether he was Irish or English.
Yeah.
And I think based on his accent, we can assume that he spent most of his young life in England.
Is it Peter O'Toole that pops up on greatest Irish actors list?
He does. He is always on greatest Irish actors list.
Yeah.
There seems to be a similar acceptance of him that there is of Daniel Day-Lewis.
And Michael Fassbender, maybe.
Oh, Michael Fassbender is different. I think Michael Fassbender is much more Irish than Peter O'Toole, I think.
Okay.
Well, is it a case that it's easier to accept an Irish-German person as Irish than an Irish-English person?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it.
But I think with him and Daniel Day, it's the case that, look, the parent was Irish. They hung out here a good bit, but English accent, certain. They took the knighthood, whatever. Peter O'Toole's class at RADA included Albert Finney, Alan Bates, and Brian Bedford. That's remarkable. So Lawrence of Arabia, being his kind of big defining role, is only his fourth movie, which is nuts. His first film, I have actually seen. It's an adaptation of Robert Louis Stevenson's Kidnapped, where he plays Robert McGregor. I never knew that was his first film. He's pretty good in that. And, of course, Lawrence of Arabia, while, he's, I don't know, T.E. Lawrence is, I guess, I'm trying to figure out where T.E. Lawrence's background was. Let me just check. British Army officer known for his role in the Arab revolt in the Sinai and Palestine campaign against the Ottoman Empire. Okay, so fine. Robert Pattinson has played T. Lawrence in recent years. So there's nothing wrong with that. He's like the only person in Lawrence of Arabia who's not playing the wrong ethnicity. I guess Omar Sharif as well. But he looks incredible in that. No one has ever looked more striking in that film. He's so pale. He has these incredible blue eyes. And he rocks up on the fucking camel. And you're like, oh my God, Peter O'Toole. Incredible. Him and Richard Burton are kind of circling around each other a lot. There's a movie called Beckett where he plays King Henry II, and it's him and Burton. He does some silly stuff around the same time as What's New Pussycat, like How to Steal a Million with Audrey Hepburn, which I know Katie Brady's a big fan of. He also appears in, would you believe it, Casino Royale, where he has a cameo as a piper in Scotland.
So himself, Woody Allen, and
they're all in it.
All three of them, yeah. That's great.
He does a lot of regal stuff. He plays Henry II in Lion of Winter. There's loads and loads of King and Prince movies. Goodbye Mr. Chips is, I think he's in a remake of the 40s movie, which is better, but the remake's all right. I have seen it, and
isn't Mr. Chips the name of the animated character on the Catchphrase TV show?
Oh, God, I have no idea.
I think it is.
Interesting. I think Robert Donat is in the original Goodbye Mr. Chips, but the remake, it's directed by Herbert Ross. It's him and Petula Clark. If you want a reference point for what Goodbye Mr. Chips is, well, let me tell you, it's a little bit like a Richard Dreyfuss movie called Mr. Holland's Opus. God. Anyway, he's... the first thing I ever saw Peter O'Toole in, I think, which I adore, I love this movie, is Man of La Mancha, speaking of Sophia Loren, where he plays both Cervantes and Don Quixote. And this film is brilliant. It's a musical. It has a great framing device where Cervantes is, I think he plays Cervantes. He is imprisoned and he goes to jail during the Spanish Revolution, 16th century, during the Spanish Inquisition. And he gets to jail and he's like, I'm going to put on a performance for all of you, my fellow prisoners. And he puts on like a makeup and fake beard. And then we are transported to the story of Don Quixote.
Yes.
And he is out at the windmills and he falls in love with Sophia Loren. And it's a great musical and he's great in it. And he plays this dual role very, very well. And then a kind of amazing thing that he does, which I love, is that when he's a huge Hollywood star appearing in big movies like The Stuntman, which I watched the other day, which I didn't really love, and he's also not the lead of that. And My Favorite Year, which again, not a favorite of mine, but quite an iconic film. While he's starring and stuff like that, he comes back to Ireland, and he plays Jim Larkin in Ortiz Strumpet City miniseries, which is such a great thing to do. And it's such an important role, and that's an incredible show. It's based on the Hugh Leonard novel. It's directed by Tony Barry, and it's about the 1916 lockout. And James Larkin is obviously immortalized on O'Connell Street.
Yep.
And the pose that he's in that statue in O'Connell Street, Peter O'Toole acts those speeches out in Strumpet City.
Yeah.
And he's in a couple of scenes, but it's incredible. And he's making these big speeches about workers' rights and all this on O'Connell Street, and it's magnificent. I would highly recommend everyone to check out Strumpet City. At work a couple of years ago, we did a tribute to the actor Brian Murray, and we got to talk to him about that, and we got to do some editing of some footage, and it was great. You got David Kelly, Frank Grimes, Cyril Cusack, and all the like are in there, and that's such a great show. And then, as I said, he's the fucking in Supergirl as Zoltar, and Faye Dunaway's in that movie, and there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. He is in The Last Emperor, which is the 1987 Best Picture winner, Bernardo Bertolucci movie, and it's about, I think is it set in China? Yeah, it's about Puyi. He's the butler in King Ralph opposite John Goodman. And like the thing with Peter O'Toole is he was a jolly drunk for much of his life. And I'd say he was enjoying floating through his career on a healthy diet of whiskey and gin.
And just riding around on a camel.
They put him in Troy in 2004, which is kind of a fun throwback to the kind of period epics he was in. As I said, Venus gets in that Oscar nomination.
Do you think What's New Pussycat was somewhat biographical?
Maybe. You never know. I don't know. I mean,
Maybe.
look, he had a family, he had kids. He was as in Kate O'Toole is his daughter, and he was married to
seemingly a nice guy.
Yeah, he was married. I'm trying to see how long his marriage lasted. He was married to Cyan Phillips for 20 years, and then he was with Karen Brown for 6 years. And okay, that was in the 80s that they split up, but I don't know anything about his personal life. But his final film, I'm trying to see here, was there anything notable? Not really.
He was in one or two bits after Ratatouille.
Oh, he's in bits after he died, like
Oh,
For Greater Glory and Catherine of Alexandria. These things come out like 2 years after he died. Yeah, it's a pity. Ratatouille and Stardust could have been his final films, but he made a couple of random schlocky things after that. But anyway, there's your Peter O'Toole. Cool, handsome guy. I would say the most handsome, if we're claiming him as Irish, the most handsome Irish actor there's ever been. Like, I think he's gorgeous. I can't think of any. Like, the only person who competes is Fassbender.
Colin Farrell's a handsome man.
Colin Farrell's a very handsome man, but he's unfortunately he's not up there with Peter O'Toole for me. Colin Farrell is handsome for an Irish guy. Peter O'Toole is in the like pantheon of handsome.
Oh yeah, he's
handsome
golden
actors.
era Hollywood handsome. Like he's got
he's
the Cary Grant.
Yeah, he in pictures with Richard Burton and the like fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, now I unfortunately have not been able to find a single person with this film in their Letterboxd top 4, as in famous person.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel like doing a randomers top 4. So will we go straight to the highest grossing films of?
I think we will.
1965.
I think one thing worth pointing out is that we loved this. We thought this
it was great.
Great
Yeah,
fun.
it was a great film.
But not everyone thinks that way.
No. Very bad
And
ratings on
I'm
Letterboxd.
coming to the conclusion that me and you are perverts.
Yeah, but Christina enjoyed it too. We'll call her out on the air.
So is she a pervert or are we not?
No, I think
one of
we
the-
all have a sense of whimsy that most of the world lacks.
Yeah.
I think that there is unfortunately a lot of absolute fucking losers out there
How do you not love 20 people
who don't know
in
how to have
go-karts?
fun. You know who did give this film a very positive review on Letterboxd is Academy Award winner Sean Baker.
Hell yeah.
Who loved it, which is no surprise at all. And he said it's fantastic, total screwball. And Woody Allen said of the Richard Burton cameo, it was so cute you want to vomit. But yeah.
Can you remind me what year this is?
65. So Sean Baker, obviously a fellow pervert, enjoyed this film. Now I'm trying to see how much money this movie would have made at the box office in its day. It would have made $18 million at the time. It was released in June 1965 in the United States. And the only other release date listed here is France, because obviously that's the only other country where anyone would have loved this movie.
I don't think we've done any Oscars talk on this episode yet.
We just mentioned the song. Yeah, let's not. Let's just talk about the box office.
Peter O'Toole have an Oscar?
So, Peter O'Toole, one of the all-time
Yes.
most nominations, no wins. to the extent that they ultimately, I think, give him an honorary one. And he definitely got the Golden Globe honorary Oscar.
Yeah.
But no, he never won a competitive Oscar, much like Robert Redford, who never won a competitive acting Oscar. There's just a certain certain type of guy that gets fucked over, and he's one of them.
Do you want to hear the box
please
office?
proceed. Yes.
This is just the US.
Okay, that's fine.
It's good enough.
That was the world of cinema in 1965.
Next, first up, one of the most famous films of all time.
From 1965.
Yeah, I believe so. Unless this is a random, came out a few years earlier and is being re-released. But
One of the most famous films of all time.
I believe so.
So I'm having doubts based on yours. Is it The Sound of Music?
It's The Sound of Music.
Okay, good.
Is that a correct description?
65?
Of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, number 2 for the year is a film you would watch if you were having a lean night.
Okay, so it's a David Lean film.
David Lean film.
From 1965. Speaking of Lawrence of Arabia, David Lean. What was David Lean making in 1965? I'm going to need a clue here. A tagline, perhaps, or such.
A love caught in the fire of a revolution.
Oh, no. More clues needed.
What is Strangelove? What is his occupation?
He's a doctor.
Yeah. Who's another doctor?
Dr. Zhivago.
Dr. Zhivago.
With Omar Sharif and Julie Christie.
Yep.
Very good. Never seen it. That movie is famously long. I'll get to it someday.
Yep.
Zhivago. OMG at Zhivago. Shop Street, Galway. Since 1998.
Galway's dedicated David Lean shop.
Yeah.
Next up, a bad pervert film.
A bad person. So it's Bond.
Bond.
65. From Russia with Love?
Nope.
Not Dr. No. So it's the third one. It's not Spy Who Loved Me?
Nope.
Oh, guessing fucking early Bond movies goes on forever. Thunderball. That would have been the last one I guessed. He strikes like Thunderball.
Skyfall make your 25 for 25?
Just shy. No, it didn't.
Interesting.
I think it would be silly for my 25 to include 2 spy movies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Now, this next film has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 word title.
Okay. What the fuck? It is a 20-word title.
Okay, it's probably more commonly known by the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words of this.
It's a mad, bad, bad, mad world?
No.
A funny thing happened on the way to the something? I need a clue then.
Stars Stuart Whitman
Oh, no. I don't know what this
and
is.
Sarah Miles.
No.
This is Those Magnificent Men and Their Flying
I've
Machines.
seen that.
Or How I Flew from London to Paris in 25 hours, 11 minutes.
Okay, so I've seen this movie and I've never heard the second half of that title.
Okay.
This has a song. Those magnificent men in their flying machines. I watched that film with a couple once who were friends of my parents who were babysitting me. Mm-hmm. A nice American lady and her boyfriend who was Irish.
Lovely.
When I was about 6. Yep.
Okay, we'll do one more.
Good memories on Boy Party, folks. This is what you come here for.
You a Blake Edwards fan?
We've literally talked about him 4 times on this episode.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Many times.
You've
You've given this 3 stars.
a 3-star Blake Edwards movie.
3-star Blake Edwards.
Is this movie Victor Victoria?
Nope.
Is this movie Thoroughly Modern Millie? No, he didn't make
Jack Lemmon plays Professor Fate.
that. Jack Lemmon, Blake Edwards. That's interesting.
The poster has a quote on it saying, not a quote, but a tagline saying, the greatest comedy of all time.
The Great Race.
The Great Race.
This is Lemmon and Natalie Wood and Tony Curtis.
Yep.
Sure. It's a fucking great race. Like,
Yeah.
it's real cartoon, live action cartoon bullshit. Like, sorry. The Great Race is an all-time movie for guys driving an open-top car with funny goggles. You know he had to do it to him. Sorry. Which you referenced during this.
Because Woody Allen is driving through the streets of Paris in an open-top car wearing a cap and goggles. And I said, you know you had to do
it
it.
reminded you of De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon.
You burst out laughing.
Yeah, because it was a really good reference.
good
That's a
gag.
good pull.
Okay. I'm just going to reference the next 3 films on this list because there is an incredible coincidence here.
Okay.
In that the next 3 highest grossing films of this year all have the word cat in them.
So That Darn Cat.
That Darn Cat.
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Nope.
I'm already fucked.
What's New Pussycat?
What's New Pussycat?
Obviously. And
That darn
the other
cat
one
we'll do on this
is
podcast someday.
Cat Baloo.
Yeah, Jane Fonda. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go. 3 cat movies.
Lee Marvin wins Best Supporting Actor for Cat Ballou that year, I believe.
Big year for the old Pussycats.
It is. That darn cat, unfortunately, a film with very few logs on Letterboxd, because otherwise I would do it in this podcast, because it's Dean Jones and Haley Mills.
Okay.
And it is kind of the epitome of the Disney live action shit from the 60s that they show on RTE2 in the summer holidays, which I'm obsessed, a genre of B movie I'm obsessed with. Maybe we'll do it someday. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway, great. That's all. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. Pussycats and pussy men. And pussy cats and pussy dogs. You can find further episodes of the show at boypartypod.com. You can purchase tickets. This is your last chance to buy tickets for Boy Party Live. It's happening this Saturday, I think, by the time this is released.
It's happening in the strip club from What's Your Pussycat?
God, no.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's a Boy Party Live. Tickets are available. Visit boypartypod.com, and you can listen to the final few editions of the 25 for 25 countdown. We are down to the top 5 now. It's very exciting. You can follow the show on Instagram, boypartypod, and we'll see you again next Tuesday for one of our... Yeah, we're almost at episode 100. It's exciting times.
Crazy.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.